Movie review number 1335 is Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is a 2025 movie directed by Jake Schreier. Schreier. Jake Schreier. This movie has Marvel Studios in it and is part of Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I saw this movie on May 23rd, 2025 at Peels Point Cinema 10 in Amelia, Ohio. So this movie is the last movie in Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the movie is based on the anti-hero team Thunderbolts. This movie has some connections, I would say, to DC Suicide Squad, as Thunderbolts features a group of anti-heroes who are trying to save the world from a new threat. Ensnared by a death trap, a group of anti-heroes embarks on a dangerous mission that forces them to confront the darkest corners of their past. We see Rowena Belleforth / Brad Widow, Buddy Barnes / Winter Soldier, Red Guardian, Ghost, Taskmaster, and John Walker / U.S. Agent, who embark on a dangerous mission to not only save the world from this new threat known as the Void, but to also confront the darkest corners of their past. Now, we have seen in previous movies and TV shows these characters and how they have faced dark past before. For instance, you saw Rowena Belleforth in the Brad Widow movie in the Hawkeye TV series, and how her being in the Red Room basically impacted her life, along with her family's life. Buddy Barnes, who became the Winter Soldier in the second Captain America movie, and how he was brainwashed by Hydra to do terrible things, and he eventually became a good guy. We see Red Guardian, who you saw in the Brad Widow movie, who helped both his daughters with the threat of the Red Room. We also saw Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then Taskmaster from the Brad Widow movie, and then John Walker / U.S. Agent, who you saw in the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV series, who was temporarily Captain America for a short period of time until he did something that made the U.S. government force him to remove his duties as Captain America. So these group of anti-heroes have something in common. They have each faced a dark path. However, they have to confront their dark paths to take down this new enemy who could literally destroy the world, and he may be stronger than all the Avengers combined. Oh, I thought it was a pretty good movie. So, this movie has Florence Pugh as Rowena Belleforth / Brad Widow, Sebastian Stan as Buddy Barnes / Winter Soldier, Wyatt Russell as John Walker / U.S. Agent, Otto Kurylenko as Antonia Dreykov / Taskmaster, Lewis Pullman portrays Robert Reynolds or Bob Reynolds / the Sentry / Void. It's interesting that Lewis Pullman portrays Bob, who is a guy who is suffering from amnesia. Then he becomes Sentry, who looks like a superhero but is in fact a villain. And then he becomes the Void, who is the darkest villain in the movie. Like, he literally pulls people away from life into darkness. This movie also has Jadrolene Fast-Ronathan as Mel, who is an assistant for Faratina. Chris Bauer portrays Hort, a security officer for OSE Group. Wendell Pierce as Gary, a congressman. David Harbour portrays Aresti Sosakov / Red Guardian. Hannah John Clement portrays Ava Starr / Ghost. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus portrays Faratina Allegra de Fontaine, a Contessa and the director of the Central Intelligence Agency. So, we previously saw Faratina in the TV series The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the end credit scene for Brad Widow, and in Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever. And she is a woman who in this movie is a director of the CIA, who actually plans a death trap for these group of anti-heroes. However, the anti-heroes escape, and they basically have to take down the Void. However, they have a few rules with Tina as well. So I thought it was a pretty good movie, and just like Suicide Squad, this movie focuses on a group of anti-heroes who may not have done so much good in their life, but decide to help the world take down this new threat. And what's also interesting is that Thunderbolts is the title of the movie, but there was an asterisk at the end of the title. Like it says Thunderbolts, and then there was an asterisk. So what does the asterisk mean? Well, it does mean something. I am not going to reveal it, but let's just say that the meaning of the asterisk is revealed at the end of the movie, which will definitely impact events later on. So this movie does have two end credit scenes. One that's kind of like silly a little bit, but fun, and another one I would say leads into the events of an upcoming movie. As this movie is the final film in Phase 5, and Phase 6 begins with Fantastic Four First Steps, and eventually we get to see two more Avengers movies coming in 2026 and 2027, so those would be great to see. But I thought Thunderbolts was pretty good. I definitely recommend it. So that's my movie review of Thunderbolts with the asterisk. Please stay tuned for my next movie review. Alright, goodbye.